Welcome back to the channel. It's another beautiful sunny day here in eastern North Carolina. I think the temperature's supposed to get up to like 55 today, so I'm going to be wearing a sweatshirt. It's also calm at the moment, but just a few moments ago we had some crazy wind gust come through. Either way, I will try to work around the wind, try to do some recording here. If the wind starts getting too much, then maybe in the video there'll just be a lot of me doing stuff with some nice gentle music or something along those lines. I do have a book, and in the book I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 things. I've already watered my seedlings that I have growing in the garage on my seed starting thing. They're coming along quite nicely. The dahlias, which I planted early on, are doing, they're coming up pretty quick. What else do I have going in there? Onions are looking pretty good, and lavender, some of the lavender, it looks like maybe starting to put on its true leaves, which will be quite exciting. Hopefully some of that stuff will start putting on its true leaves, and I can start potting up, pulling out of the big trays that they're in, start putting them into smaller pots, up potting them as it were, and maybe making room for more stuff to start in there. As you can see over here, right over there, my greenhouse is still not built at the moment. I'm still working on that, but today, instead of working on the greenhouse, I thought I would turn around and just start getting some of these many other things that I need to get done now before we get into spring done. Hopefully I will have some help later in the week with the greenhouse, or maybe early next week. Either way, hopefully the greenhouse gets done. Like I did say, I was predicting it to be done by the end, or hoping to have it done by the end of March. I'm just kind of, with spring coming, I kind of want to get the greenhouse up running so I can start seeds in the greenhouse, but I don't even have benches to put in the greenhouse, so I'd be putting stuff on the ground at the moment, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Either way, I'm prattling on. Let me start checking off my checklist of things that I want to get done today, so I can, again, it's that whole spring rush. We're rushing into spring. We're getting, things need to get done. I just remembered something else that needs to get done. I need to plant out a bunch of bare root trees. Some of them I know where they're going. Others I do not at the moment, but I do know where one of them's going. So let me see if I can add that to the list. Maybe I'll get it done today. Plant out green giant. I think it's like a Thulia, I can't pronounce it, I'll put the word here. Green giant. In the meantime, I'm going to start planting my herb garden. So last year, if you were paying attention, or if you started watching me last year, I purchased this circular raised bed with the intention of making this into an herb garden. It is off to the side, as you can see, closest to the driveway. I have my other metal raised beds right off of here, and I have my wood beds over there. All of this you'll see in the upcoming weeks/months as things start growing, progressing. Once the danger of frost really passes, then everything takes off like a bat out of you-know-what. Sorry, trying to keep this as clean as possible, if that's possible. So today I'm going to be planting up some herbs, and I have two types of herbs, believe it or not, that I've kind of ignored. I haven't done much with, but they're still alive. So I thought, why not get them planted out now, and then as the year progresses I can fill in more and more and more. So let me show you what I've got today. First, I have this pot of rosemary. Now I had bought 3 of these rosemaries. I didn't really know what to do with them last year. It's just sort of bought them at a big box store, I believe it was, maybe the hardware store. Either way, bought the plants, planted them up in the pots. They've been doing well. They put on flowers, and they look good. As good as can be, as with the winters and the freezes and the frosts. So obviously they're pretty frost hardy. Again, if there's a lot of wind noise, I apologize for that. It is just that kind of day. So I'm going to plant this up towards the back, and in the front I have something else to plant out. Now, I planted these parsleys late last year. They came up, they started growing, and they've been in the open cold frame all winter long. They've survived the frosts, the freezes, they've survived being buried in ice. Who knew? So I'm going to plant these 3 guys, take them out of their little bitty pots here. I'm going to plant them up into this bed, and we'll see what happens. I'll be starting more parsley from seed in the upcoming weeks. But I thought, I had these guys sitting in the cold frame, what am I going to do with them? Throw them out? Oh, stick them in here and see what happens. If they grow to full size, if they do well throughout the course of the year, which hopefully they should, awesome. If they don't, well, like I said, I'm starting new ones from seed. Okay, so if you remembered last year, or if you're new to the channel, and thank you to all the new subscribers, but if you remember last year, I purchased, I think it was 10 bare root boxwoods from, trying to remember, Arbor Day Foundation. Apologize for that, brain's a little slow there. From Arbor Day Foundation. So I got 10 bare root boxwoods, and what I did was I put them into pots, and my goal with those would to put them in the rose garden, because what I'd like is in the front of the rose garden, or along the edges of the beds, I would like to have like 2-foot high boxwoods. Again, more formal, you know, just as a frontage, I guess. You could do a bunch of different things when, you know, obviously you're designing or building out your garden, but I thought a nice little 2-foot hedge right in front would be nice. So those boxwoods now are about a year old, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to stick them in the ground, because there's no, and let me make a quick mention, there's in the near 10-day forecast, there's no threat or sign of frost. Now it doesn't mean we're not going to get a frost like we did last year, where I think all of March was just beautiful, no frosts, no freezes. But then I think it was April 14th, you know, we got hit with a, you know, hard frost, or freeze, I should say, hard freeze for about 2 hours early one morning. It knocked a bunch of stuff back, you know, browned into a lot of new growth, yada, yada, yada. So, that being said, I'm going to plant these guys out, but the hopefully the bushes will have time to put in some roots into the ground. Again, if it doesn't freeze for the rest of the month, great. If it doesn't freeze from now until, you know, we get past that frost date, that'd be awesome as well. But I think I need to get them off of the potting table into the ground so they can start doing their thing. That'll also allow me to turn around and clear out. I left space when I did the mulching between the plants and the edge of the bed, you'll see, but I needed to clean out some weeds and grass that have since grown up in there, plant those boxwoods, and then I will finish mulching that area. Okay, so I got the, actually I wound up planting out 9, I believe, 9 boxwoods. They're green velvet, by the way, if you're interested in the variety. Green velvet was the variety. And I planted out 1 peony. It actually had started forming buds, but hasn't started coming up yet. And it was a single that I had. Some of the other peony varieties, like I have Sandra Bernhardt, and I have another one which name eludes me, but I have 3 of each of those, and those I'll be planting together as a clump someplace else, maybe out in the flower garden, maybe here in the rose garden. But for now I have the one peony, which I believe was Festiva Maxima. If I remember, or if I can find the picture, I'll post it up over here. Let's get on to the next task. Hopefully that wind isn't too much. One of the things I do have to do, along with the many other things I have to do, is dig up a few pineapple lilies, which I had planted in the front garden beds here last year. The few that are along this side were on the one side of the deck. If you watched a few videos ago, I was on the other side of the deck. But the ones I planted over here, or between the bushes, and this area were already in shade, and it's almost 2 in the afternoon. So I'm going to dig up these pineapple lilies, and then I'll plant them out into the flower garden. Okay, so if you remember, or if you don't remember, there was a what do they call that? Like a Scrubby Rose. It's a low growing rose. I'm not even sure. Well, I guess it is a rose because it has all the, either way. There's the rose, or what's left of it. And there's the empty space that eventually I think we'll plant up a limelight hydrangea. And here's some daylilies, and I cleaned up all the mulch here as best I could. This spot right here is left all weedy and stuff because there's the bird feeder. There's the weeds. So the birds do their thing, and the bits and bobs of the seed fall down, and eventually they just get all scrubby. So I cleaned up some of the mulch around here. I weeded some of it out. I just noticed I missed a very big weed right back there. I'll pull that out when I put the camera down. I cleaned up the agapanthus there. I had a lot of lateral roots growing out just underneath the mulch, so I made sure they were all cleaned up and ready to go. I dug up the one pineapple lily from there, and I cleaned up a lot more of the mulch here. There was a lot of grass. There's probably still some grass, and grass is going to pop up. I guess this is just all part of the weeding process. I have a white Shasta, white breeze Shasta daisy growing right there. It survived all winter. It almost flowered all winter. It was probably just maybe early February. It didn't flower, but now the weather's getting a little warmer. Flowers are starting to come out. I have a Peony and some more daylilies, and I had another pineapple lily back there, which I've since pulled out, and I'm going to show you in a minute where all the pineapple lilies are going to go. As a quick point of reference, here's the other side of the gutter around the corner. It's all very weedy and messy, so I'm going to have to go back in through here on another day because I'm running out of daylight. And I'm going to have to clean this section of the bed up. As you can see, there's quite a few dandelions in there, so I'm going to have to try to get them up as well and refresh the mulch in this entire area. So now we're going to head over to the flower bed. Hopefully it's in frame. And I'm going to plant up the 3 pineapple lilies. Now, the bed is pretty full, but I'm going to get them planted, and I think hopefully through the course of the summer, because it's so full, it'll keep the weeds down to a minimal. That's my hope. We'll find out in a second. that's wrapping it up for today. I still have to edit this video, and it's getting a lot late in the day. So I did manage to add compost to my wisteria pot, which I did off camera. I tore up the one rose bush, and I cleaned up the front part of the front bed areas that I needed to get cleaned up. I turned around and got a bunch of boxwoods planted out in the rose gardens that needed to get planted out, so they're off to hopefully a good start. I started planting up the herb garden, and there is just a plethora more to go. Oh, and I also replanted out the pineapple lilies behind me here in the what hopefully will be the start of the flower garden. There is just so much to do, and if you're a gardener, you know, you get it. This is the time of year where, you know, we're trying to get back outside. We're trying to do what we can before spring hits. If you're in a northern region where you still have snow on the ground or the ground is still frozen, that just makes your time frame for getting out and doing what you need to do that much smaller. Again, before spring really starts getting rolling. Because before you know it, you're going from spring to summer, you know, and I think we all want to be able to relax in the summertime and have a nice cold drink. But this stuff is done for today. So I am calling it quits. Like I said, I still have to edit this video. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit that bell icon. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, comments, any thoughts. I'm open to suggestions. I'm building the garden here in Growing Zone 8A. You've all heard the spiel before, and if you're a new subscriber, welcome. I have rose bushes coming up. I have flowers that I'm starting from seed. Of course, there's the whole veg garden, which needs to go, you know, get going. Hopefully there'll be new and exciting stuff that's going to happen out over in the crater this year. Crater. I have hibiscus that are sitting up on the potting bench that once they start coming alive, probably in the next few weeks, I'm going to move them out into the front lawn area where I have the rows of shrubbery, and I'll be planting out those hibiscus. I think that'll be a very nice addition. There's trees to be planted. There's so much going on. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Share this video amongst all your friends, family, social media, etc., etc. You know the drill. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.